price, right?
Yes.
Now, anyway, you have started. Now you have to understand the accounting also. Let me explain you the accounting also, how it is going to be created. Actually, it is not required for us because we are discussing about supply chain management. If you ask me to discuss about financials also, I don't have a problem to discuss. Let me explain you the actual process, how it is going to be is. So here, say for example, I'm going to purchase item 1. Item 1 and whose standard costing is, say for example, 100 rupees. My standard costing is this 100 rupees. Now I have created a purchase order for item 1 for 100 units, and what is the with what price we are going to purchase, say for example 95 rupees. It is coming to 9,500. Now once we receive the goods in our inventory for this particular item 1, how the accounting entry is going to be created is material cost account data to, meaning how much I'm going to pay to my vendor here is 9,500. So my material cost will be updated as per our standard costing, 100 into 100, that is, it is 10,000. And my accrual, how much we are supposed to pay to our vendor here is 9,500, right? Now this is meaning what is the actual we are going to pay, but in my inventory the standard costing is what, and the difference is going to get accounted into my purchase price variance. This is 500. And say now I'm going to make sales. Now I'm going to sell the same product to my customer, meaning here we have purchased from our supplier. Now I'm going to make sales, or I'm going to sell the product to my customer. Now once I make the sales, maybe I'm going to sell item 1 of here, this item 1 of say 10 quantity, I'm going to sell with how much rupees here? So what is the total value of this? It is
100.
Meaning I have a stock of 100 units, but I'm going to sell only 10 units. So when I'm going to process sales, meaning when I'm going to ship the material, here it is actually going to inform, meaning there are 2 entries which are going to be created here. So it is now going to identify purchase cost, sales cost. So with what cost, meaning we are going to sell, meaning this much quantity is physically moving from my inventory. We are going to sell with what price here? 150. So what is my purchase cost? With what cost it has been updated here? 100. So here it is going to make an entry as COGS, that is cost of goods sold account data to material cost. Cost of goods account data to material cost. So here cost of goods sold account is how much? 10 units, it is 1000. and my material cost, meaning here the material cost is 10,000. Since we are going to sell, what will be the net cost of my inventory? Here it is, say debit 10,000, here credit 10,000. So here it is going to show the net material cost is 9,000, and COGS is nothing but my expense. COGS is nothing but my expense. Now my sales cost is receivables to revenue. Here the entry is created as with what cost here? 1,500. 1,500. So how much we are going to receive from our customer is 1,500. We are going to receive 1,500. Are you getting the point here? So what is the net profit on this transaction here?
500.
500. Now you tell me, you understood the difference between costing, sales price and purchase price?
Yes, sir.
Any more questions on this, please?
I'm good, sir. Thank you.
So this is minimum quantity, sorry, min-max planning. This is minimum quantity, maximum quantity, order, that is order quantity minimum, order quantity, maximum supply. Now regularly we have to run our planning reports, planning, min-max planning. So when I'm going to run the planning reports, here at what level you wanted to run your planning, we can set this min-max planning at organization level or at my sub inventory level. Since we have set the parameters at organization level, I'm going to set the planning level at organization level, and item selection is items under minimum quantity or all min-max planned items, all min-max planned items, or you can also select only those items which are under minimum quantity. Or if you wanted to know what are the items which are over maximum quantity, meaning this is only for reporting purpose. So here when I select items under minimum quantity, will show us only the, meaning we'll select only those items which are under minimum quantity. And if you wanted to run this planning methods for any specific category of items, you have an option to select your categories here. So by default, this is the category set which is selected. You can also select GGSS category set that is created on other day. Now inventory dot items, and remaining all other parameters is to filter your items like specific categories, specific planners and all. And here this restock, meaning you wanted to run this planning reports only for to know what are the items which are going to fall below minimum quantity, and at the same time I want the requirement to be forwarded to my purchasing module, then we have to say restock as yes. Then what happens is whatever the requirement which is created in inventory is transferred into purchase requisition interface tables. It will transfer into interface tables only when you say restock as yes, and remaining all other parameters are optional.
So just a small
Then,
doubt, what will be the frequency of this in real time? How frequently it is run on a daily basis, or min-max planning report? Whenever the planner requires, he can run it.
this is actually, as you told, it can be scheduled on day-to-day basis, because we cannot know which items are going to fall short on which date. So it is the responsibility of the warehouse manager to schedule this process for every day or every week or every month or every quarter. It depends again on your business requirement. Generally, what I have observed is they schedule these kind of programs on every week. Now, say it is not that all the items are going to be under min-max planning. Some, you say now in our inventory we have created so many items, but for all the items we did not enable planning method. So it is just going to run the, it is going to identify only those items which are under this planning method. Click on OK. Click on submit. Submit another request. No. So here, if you have any exceptions, here it will be notified. No exceptions. This is the only item which is picked, and my reorder quantity is 500, but my maximum order is only 400. So here it is now going to create two lines, that is 100, sorry, 400 and 100, because as of now we have an on-hand quantity of 0. So here it is going to create this maximum order into what? Sorry, reorder quantity into maximum order is only 400. So 500 will split into 400 and 100, and both should satisfy my minimum order quantity. That is, now the data is in now my requisition interface table. Requisition interface table. Now switch to purchasing responsibility. Switch to purchasing responsibility. Here you submit requisition import program. Requisition import program. Here import source you select as inventory. Import source meaning what are the sources by which the stock is going to come into my inventory is inventory, and here group by item or by buyer or a category or location or a vendor. Group by item, multiple distributions. Initiate approval? No. Because since we still have not set any approval process, I don't want to initiate approval after requisition import program. But after implementing this approval management, we can enable this process. Then submit. Something is missing. Number of interface lines in error is 2.
You see the log file we get the RMSE log file.
No, it is not showing any errors in the log file.
Oh.
Let me check the definition of the item here. Switch responsibility to inventory, or else you run the report once again. Already the data is in my requisition interface table. This is the requisition import program. I'm sorry, here we have to go back to our PO. Requisition import program, group by item, requisition import no, this is maybe the buyer is missing. Oh, I'm sorry here, I forgot to tell you a point here. The person, we compulsory have to associate an employee to the person, meaning we are running this process through which one, GEGSS. But if you see this system administrator, security user defined GEGSS, say the person is not assigned, meaning only employee can create this purchasing activities. So first let me create a new employee in HRMS. I'm just creating some employee here. People, enter and maintain. I'm just going to create some employee, GGSS employee, employment, date of birth, and click on assignment. Save this. Okay, now you go to assignments. Corrections. Just I have created an employee. Now assign this employee to our user. System administrator, security user define. This is GGSS employee. Now we'll run the requisition requisition import program once again. Yeah. Or
Is it not mandatory to be a buyer to run the requisitions?
Buyer is mandatory when we are going to create purchase orders.
But when we are trying to open the requisitions also, it shows that you are not a buyer, and maybe will it not give that error message that you are not a buyer and you won't be able to open this?
Yeah. Maybe you might have already worked in the application. So you are trying to, so here, you see, when I'm going to create a requisition, it is not going to ask you any what buyer is not required. But when you are going to create a purchase order, it will ask you. You are not set up as a buyer.
Okay.
Single request, that is requisition import program, import source, group by item, initiate approval, no. Still, that is not created. I have to run the process once again. Submit here. Planning, min-max planning. This is GSS. Organization level, items under minimum quantity. And PO supply. No. And here I'm going to set restock as yes. No exceptions have been raised. Now I'll run the report once again. Switch to PO, view request, submit a new request, single request, requisition import program, group by item, maybe I'll say multiple distributions, yes.
No. Okay. Restock, yes. Initiate approval, yes.
Pardon?
Then initiate approval, yes.
No, that is nothing to do with this program. Initiate approval is just to what? Start the approval process or not. Here. And moreover, I can also show you what are the exceptions here. That doesn't matter actually. No, it is not. No, you just run this program where you'll come to know what are the actual exceptions occurred. Requisition import exception report. Import sources, inventory, delete exceptions, yes, meaning I just wanted to delete these exceptions. Submit. Now here we'll come to know what are the actual exceptions in the interface table. maybe the employee which have defined is not assigned to my I meant to say there is a problem in employee creation only. I'll correct it today, and tomorrow we'll continue with this planning methods, and we'll also discuss about other planning methods. Okay, the problem is with employee, meaning maybe we have not entered all the information required to create an employee. So that is the only issue that I'll correct it, and tomorrow we'll continue. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you all.
Okay, sir. Thank you.